Hello and welcome to the GHPC developer stream for August 2022. We have come a long way to get here. This is the final developer stream before Steam Early Access release. Huge announcement we'd had in the last couple months. Steam is happening. It's happening on September 6th. I don't remember the exact time, sometime in the afternoon Eastern time. And the game is going to be launching with a base price of $30 and a 10% launch discount for the first week. So if you want to get in on that, get in early, you get the best deal. The game will get more expensive by full release. We're giving people a bonus for supporting us early and try to say thanks. It is an early access game, it has flaws, we know this, but it's going to be awesome. And, by the way, if you're a Patreon supporter, you get the game for free if you've given at least $25 US in your lifetime subscriptions. So, if you gave $10 in 2020 and then $15 this year, you hit that total. We have those keys ready to go. We'll be handing them out. There are more details on that in the news post on GHPC.com. So, what have we been up to? We've been doing a lot of stuff. We were extremely busy. We have many major features, as you can see on the roadmap. In fact, let me pull that up. The work never ends, and it will not cease when we hit early access. It will only accelerate, for that matter. We're just trying to hit as many things as we can before then. So this roadmap, let me go to screen here. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, in the meantime, let me keep talking. As you can see, there's something wrong with your Twitch, definitely your problem. We are going to be releasing the game in early access on Steam. It's going to be in a similar state to how it is in the Patreon demo. All vehicles unlocked, every feature that's stable. Patreon's going to be changing, and that's hold on.
We're getting black screen.
Okay, you should be getting actual screen now.
All right, let's see. Yes. Good job.
Okay, perfect. Well, this is exciting. I'll have to fix all of my settings after this. No, the game will not be on GeForce Now. It will be on Steam. It'll be all the vehicles unlocked. It'll be all the features that are stable. What we'll be doing is we'll be moving to a new system for Patreon. If you are a Patreon supporter on the old system with the itch demo and all that stuff, that's going away. You will maintain Discord access, you'll maintain, if you're MBT tier, you'll still have the Git feed in Discord, all that stuff, kind of the secondary benefits. The demo builds will be replaced. There will be a new Patreon tier with price to be announced, where you will get kind of unstable builds or preview builds for the Steam version. So if we have a feature, it's still kind of in development or we're still bug fixing on it, but it's sort of working, we put out a build and whoever's supporting at that tier gets that build. If you want the actual full game on Steam, you buy it on Steam. Because Patreon before was a way to generate support. It was our only source of funding, still is, but now Steam is going to be giving us sales, so we can start to pivot a little bit. So the roadmap, which is why I wanted to pull this up in the first place, this is all the major development beats that we want to hit before 1.0. So it'll take at least a year from early access, we're thinking, to get everything in and polished up. If you buy the game now on Steam, you are not getting all of this stuff at the moment. You will be getting it for free as the game develops once you've bought the game. We'll be updating frequently as we do. Yes, there will be an update before Steam Early Access. I'll be getting to that in a moment. So this list ending with multiplayer here. This is all the stuff that's going to be in the game. There will be more. These are the major features. So if you buy now, when it comes out, September 6th, you will get all these things when they're ready. You can also wait if you're not one to do early access releases. You can just buy the game when it hits 1.0. I know that's what a lot of people like to do, totally acceptable. But obviously we appreciate when people do it now because it helps our ability to finish the game faster. And pretty simple and direct connection between the income and the development. So, it's pretty straightforward. Let me switch this back here. And yeah, that's pretty much the story. So, updates before early access. We usually update around the beginning or middle of a month, and we do at least one update per month. This month has been very hectic. I feel like I say that every month, it just keeps ramping up. We're going to do an update probably within the next week, if I had to guess. It's not going to be today. It's not going to be one of those stream and then update days. So if you were expecting that, yeah, disappointing. But we are working on several things which are almost ready, not quite ready, and we want to make sure we get them all done and sorted out. Can we peep the APF SDS cartridge? Let me see.
Yeah, where is that?
It's there. It's still there. I haven't arranged my setup yet to get everything back in frame because, as I said, I just moved. So, but yeah, that's a full-size replica, 3D printed. If you want to get one yourself, look up Maker Steve on eBay. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get into actually playing some stuff. And I'll be doing questions as well, as usual. And Kavi will be relaying questions to me from chat.
Like I do.
Like
Hi,
you do.
I'm Kavi.
Hi, Kavi. Okay. So hopefully this will come through fine with my new settings. I don't have my face on there.
Release it before the 15th so I can play it before I ship out. That's a you problem, all right? You decided on that date.
That is true. I do want to...
Anyone asking... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I want to run an Abrams mission and let people listen to it. Keep talking.
I do want to note, anyone who wants to watch the recording of this, they generally go up on our YouTube channel, and then if you're around after this for our patron Q&A stream, those also get recorded and go up on Patreon for everyone to listen to. Feel free to ask questions, Toby Silverstone. That was a question, actually. There's your answer.
Yep, you've used your question now. Now, the reason I'm playing and not talking much, and the reason the crew voices are muted, is we have new sounds for the Abrams.
Oh, this is with new music too, isn't it?
Sure is. I have a feeling I'm taking missile fire. Yep.
Dodge it. Abrams can't die. Oh, it can.
It's very durable though. Well,
Does
anyhow,
MREs getting shot affect crew morale? Not at this moment.
it does not. It probably should. Earlier when I was testing, I got the Oops All MREs Abrams. That was fun. Let me go back to talking while I talk about this. So, Abrams, new sounds. That was one of the many things we were working on in the past month. We had somebody come in and basically redo them all from scratch. The engine, the turret traverse, the hydraulic system, the reloading. I think it really captures all the little details, like you can hear the ammo doors in the background sliding open and shut during the reload. Let's run that again, actually. It's pretty fun. There's many other things in progress, by the way. This is just one of the ones that is in this build that I made that I can show. Let's do bold limit. I saw somebody ask about smoke and effects. We'll get into that. There is some progress there. I also
have a contractor name for a shout out for who made the sounds.
Yeah, that was Hugo who made those. You guys don't know Hugo, because why would you? But that's who did it.
We're gonna keep it that way. Does every tank have new sounds? No.
We're doing them, some of them, one by one. I think T-72 might be next. Some of them are fine as they are, some are in need of a little bit of revision. We'll see.
What about trees that can just flip the tank over when you drive into them? Still existing. Yeah, we know that trees are one of those pain points that we have to, one, optimize a little bit more, and two, fix some of the collision stuff on. But we'll get to that.
There we go. I was wondering where my targets were.
Are you gonna stick to the Unity engine? No, we're actually shifting to Godot with a hard C++ layer. Yes, we're gonna stick to Unity.
We're gonna dump the entire game, all the progress we've made, just to change engines, just to start over and take about 3 years to do it.
We're actually
It's
gonna
a really good
switch
plan.
to a lower version of Unreal, because everyone's going for the newer version of Unreal, and that's just it's too. Everyone expects that. It comes up every so often. Everyone asking about the engine. We've clearly been able to do a lot of great progress with our current engine. No reason for us to stop and change that up. Let's add another 2 years of development time.
I gotta turn my game down a little bit so that I can hear you. So that everybody can hear you.
I appreciate that.
How do you keep locked on the target and it automatically leads? You don't. I just aim at the tank I smooth track manually. And once it's been on the center of the target for a minute, I laze and I fire. If you're asking how I snap to the target, that's a spacebar. That lets the commander take over. I saw somebody asking about third person, whether it's going to stay in the game. Yes, it will, but you will have to have your guys turned out to use third person cameras. So it's not going to stay like it is now, most likely, where you can just constantly go like this whenever you want. It's going to be a calculated risk.
Which instant action mission are you currently in?
Old limit.
A bold choice.
This BMP is jukin'.
It will be for just the commander to be turned out. The entire crew doesn't have to be turned out in that regard. For third person.
Yeah, we'll have kind of limited first-person periscope views. So if you're not turned on, that's what you'll have. Did I say turned on or turned out? Whatever. If you're not turned out, you'll have a periscope view.
You said turned on.
Okay.
That's okay.
I was distracted by the crew voices. There's my excuse.
That's fine.
Yep. Anyway, so I just wanted to show off some Abrams sounds. That's ooh, nice delayed cook-off on that BMP. There are some other things in progress effects-wise. I'm gonna show one of those now.
How will edges of the map be handled? Right now, they're just various cliffs off into the void. That's not super important at the moment, but eventually we'll add some sort of like seamless, generic terrain out there.
Motor ready, stable loaded. Gunner ready, stable index.
So I'm running this mission in particular because I have a test rigged up in this mission. There's a new feature where you can call in indirect fire. And so like artillery, high caliber mortars, and I have that set to happen in this mission just as a test. There's no sound right now because I was still working on getting the sound controller hooked up, but those are the effects. You can see some of them right there. Those were live rounds.
Hot damn.
Yep. If I had been under those, that would have hurt. So, in fact, I'm going to attempt to call one in on the enemy here. It's very challenging because they are far away in this map. I think the T-72s are advancing at 2.5, almost 3 kilometers. So I have to try to use the grid lines and the terrain features to estimate where they are and call in the strike. Let's see if we can do that. I'm gonna fail at artillery live on stream.
Gunner stable tank identified. Relay fire on the way.
So they are at 2,700. They're at 2,700, they're in this direction. Let's see.
Got this.
Maybe here?
Sure. Yeah, just eyeball it.
Check target, Gunner Steve-O tank! Traverse left, identified. Fire! On the way.
So after some waiting time,
Check target,
we
Gunner
should
Steve-O
see
tank!
artillery come in.
Traverse left. Hit on! Identified. Fire! On the way. Check target, Gunner Steve-O tank! Traverse left. Traverse left. Traverse left. Eddie,
I'm not going to record your failure for this time only. Ha.
fire! On the way.
So I don't know if you guys saw,
Gunner Steve-O tank!
they did land around this area,
On the way.
but I missed.
Gunner Steve-O tank!
I
Traverse left.
predicted incorrectly how far they would get.
Traverse left. Traverse left. Eddie. Eddie. On. Identified. Fire. On the way. Target. Re-engage.
Visibility issues for Northfield will be
Target.
fixed,
Gunner
yes.
Steve-O tank. Traverse left. On. Identified. Ceasefire.
They are actually fixed in this build I'm playing right now, but we haven't put that up yet, obviously, because there's no patch yet.
Yep.
Let's call artillery on a landmark that I can actually see. Yeah, you know
Are
what
you
time
gonna
it is.
artillery? Are you
You
gonna
know what
artillery
time
that?
it is.
Are you gonna artillery that town?
You know what time it is.
I don't want to know what time it is.
See, the mission hasn't ended, right? And I suspect that the enemy may be hiding from me, right? The last survivors. What's the most obvious dense location to hide in this map?
A war crime.
Yes, exactly. They are hiding in a war crime. We will see them rooted out.
I didn't help you make this so you could do this on stream.
Yes, you did. You just didn't
Yeah.
know it.
Yeah, I did.
Let's go cinematic. Ooh, ooh, I saw a tracer. That is proof. Nice peaceful village, and oh my, what's going on here? Uh-oh. You hate to see it.
Well, we have an outside free cam for photographies. Good news. It already exists.
Identified. DC. On the way. Re-engaging.
I think they're attempting to missile me for my crimes.
Target. Re-engaging.
Honestly, you kind of deserve it.
Target. Ceasefire. Identified. DC. On the way.
Now, you might notice my commander is dead,
Target lost. Identified. DC.
but my gunner is calling his own targets.
Mm-hmm.
Target.
As
Ceasefire.
part of this patch, where we had someone revamp our voice controller, so it's a lot more modular. It's easier to add pieces and voices.
Yeah, it's pretty rare to get that gunner calling his own lines thing, because it requires you to lose your commander and have the gunner survive, which is tough, especially in an M60.
Yeah, they're like right next to each other.
Yeah, they're practically hugging in the internal layout.
Oh, that makes it sound worse when they die.
See, look, there they are. That the dude sitting up high got hit, and the dude down low didn't.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
Well, lucky break.
Mm-hmm.
Head commander, everybody starts slacking. Yeah, exactly. All right,
That's,
guys, take 5.
Wait, I wonder if hit house is gonna be in here at all. Ooh,
Oh yeah, will
It
the
is.
AR show that?
it will.
Nice.
Right now it says shooter unknown because I haven't plugged in the name yet. Surely I hit a building somewhere in here. Okay, these are showing up in the hits list because the overpressure and sometimes the frag are hitting the houses.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was like, why did that appear if it's not registering as a hit?
I'm really
That's why.
glad it shows you your war crime at the end.
Yeah, right? It really adds to the congratulations on a job well done.
Yeah.
Every hit on a BMP is a war crime, by the way. Like, just look at the damage list.
I mean, it's got the Milyetka on top. It can take you out. It's coming right for you if you give it enough time.
This is an unapproved extension on this building. The German building code is very strict. Fun fact. So it was the only reasonable thing to do is to hit it with a indirect fire.
You know what? Whatever you say, champ.
Someone in chat said need more realistic frag patterns. You need more realistic frag patterns. Let me tell you that.
Got him. Someone also noted, possibly
here
the
we
same
go.
person, that the effects should have more dust kicked up. The effects that we have right now are just emphatically great. They are both efficient and they've been redone in such a way that gives so much depth. So we'll probably maybe fiddle with the size of them, the placement of them. But
Yeah, I think
they're probably gonna.
probably scaling them up, but they're staying
Yeah.
how they are. There's not going to be a change to that.
Yeah, the two people we've had do effects for us, the VFX artists, have gone above and beyond in some of the stuff that they've been able to pull off.
Usually, by the time we show something, whether it's in a build or on stream, it's not going to be changed, except under like very rare or important circumstances. Even
and the UI.
yeah, UI is definitely placeholder, but stuff like models or like new effects, new sounds, like we've already gone through revision processes before we show them. So if there's any little tiny details that still are unrealistic or something, like we kind of don't care at that point. It's not important. We have a lot of things to do.
People talking about what the different colors of the fragments in
Oh,
the
yeah,
ammo
yeah.
mean, and they're saying like lightning damage and red means fire damage.
If you hit the ammo, they're all fire damage.
Yeah.
For this coloration scheme, red is lower energy and yellow is higher energy. You'll notice in frag patterns that yellow tends to be toward the middle because that's more the straight shot. It tends to ride the main projectile slug or penetrator jet more, keep more speed. But all of these are lethal. Like even the smallest fragments that are shown in AAR are like bullets. Like they would be devastating to a human if they hit them. It's just a relative scale for stronger and weaker. I feel like there was something else I wanted to show while we're still in the game. Oh yeah, I remember what it is. There is a possibility that maybe when we're polishing up the game, we'll look at lingering dust. I know that's a big thing on battlefields. Like over time, it just builds up these clouds that just sort of hang in the air. That would be a separate system, though. We would not work those into the artillery impact effects, so those are staying as is.
Yeah, and it's also very much a polish point. We're not looking to go into EA to be like, okay, let's work on all of our polish now. We're still building up a good amount of our features.
Will we see
there be
terrain?
go ahead.
Let's do them in order. Will we see terrain deformation? No, you will not. Besides maybe some very basic depth mapped craters or something, no deformation. Terrain deformation is, I'm just gonna say it, it's a useless feature. Even in games like War Thunder, where it's implemented in like this very detailed way, nobody uses it, no one gives a shit, so why would we spend the time to make it?
Yeah. Takes away from a lot of, at this kind of scale, it's really hard. Well, it's not hard to do, but it just affects performance in a way that, like, we could be using that for other things.
Yeah, like, full disclosure, we have a system that we can turn on at any time that lets you do terrain, like surface level terrain digging, like track ruts and stuff like that. We had it briefly, I think April 2021 or May 2021. We tried it out a little bit, and it gave a lot of people performance problems. So maybe those ruts would come back later when we've had a chance to optimize it, but for now it's not really a concern.
Yeah. Someone notes, like, this would be cool for tank entrenchment, which was a thing back in Cold War. Like, totally. But at the same time, you know, not really a concern or something we want to bring up at the moment. Will there ever be civilians present on the map? We will not give you more ammo for your war crimes.
We're thinking about doing indications that civilians exist, like abandoned cars and signs of evacuation and stuff. That's more of like, once we get the game's core features more done, we'll have time to do cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some astute observers have noticed the Bradley has voice lines now. It's been a long time coming.
See our voice controller rework. Are the Bradley commands the same ones as MBT commands?
Identified. Fire. On the way.
Same voice actors, yeah.
Tracking. 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 He's tracking.
I think he's tracking.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so for those who don't know, the tow missile, when you fire it, you have to say tracking while you're guiding it, if you're the gunner. And then cease tracking is like cease fire.
Gunner, pistol, tank.
Just like real life.
Identified. Fire. Obstructing. Target locked. Gunner, pistol, tank. Traverse right. On.
Will there be
Identified.
PvP
Fire.
with
On the
multiplayer?
way.
We're going to be focusing on PvE with multicrew. In time, if everything goes well, I could see us doing something about PvP, but it's not going to be our initial focus.
Ooh.
You plan to include some sort of lexicon in game so players like me will understand the callouts. If you're anything like me, which is a player like you, which means that we both don't understand the callouts sometimes, more than likely there will be a tutorial in some way to give more context to that, and not only context just to the callouts, but also context to how to control the individual tanks. Because while it's very intuitive for people who have played a lot of these games, we do want to be more of an accessible game compared to like larger simulators. So in time, yeah, you'll pick that up.
Fire. On the way.
New music slaps. I agree.
I've been immobilized. That's no good.
You plan to implement possibility of snapwire or lost tracing due to foliage with the tow.
That's a pretty tough thing to do, so maybe yes, maybe no. I'm not gonna say yes. Where is this guy? Oh, he's there.
It's just me, or does gunner missile tank sound a little bit cut, or is it, well, when you say cut, is that like ending abruptly, or?
Gunner, missile, tank. Identified. Fire. On the way.
Do you guys have a very estimated ETA on co-op PvE?
No.
Will it be in Steam release next year, etc.? And you heard Josh there? No.
It'll be
if
sometime
we
between
did-
now and full release.
Yeah. I was gonna say now and eternity. Oh yeah, I was gonna say even if we did, still wouldn't tell you. We just drop it on you and you'd be like, whoa.
On the way! Target lost!
My guys aren't doing too well. Half these people are immobilized. I'm just waiting for the enemy to roll up on me.
You think they're just not believing in themselves enough?
Yeah, they need to get on the grind set, you know? Like,
Yeah.
they're just not. If they buy my course about how to get rich, they'll see things turn around for sure.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yep.
I bought that course, by the way, everyone.
And
I have money.
It worked. It made me rich. No, I'm kidding. That's what all of them are anyway. Someone asked, are we still on the road of not adding the ability to command dismounts, or are we considering adding that? For now, you won't be able to command dismounts. However, it's just like anything else in the game. If we try it out and we internally decide, okay, we should change it and do this instead, then we'll do it. A lot of these questions, the answer is no plan at the moment, but nothing is set in stone.
Josh blaming his team for skill issue that he coded in.
Well, listen, you're not wrong, you're just an asshole.
Yep.
It appears that we're losing, if I had to guess. I had to assess the situation. So maybe I better run this one again.
Time to use artillery. On yourself. Do we see gore when fighting, quote, crunchies? What is crunchies?
Infantry.
Ah, okay.
There are some things in the works for that. They're not ready to show.
Yeah, they look nice. That'd be really cool to show off at, like, Halloween, you know?
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Gunner stable PC! Identified!
Speaking of
Fire on
Halloween,
the way!
will be released by then in early access. So if you like what you're seeing and you want to get in on that, feel free to check out our Patreon.
Doubtful. Re-engage.
I need to get more line of sight on these things. Ooh, there's
Just
some
need to use the force.
there's some trading of missiles going on.
Next target. Gunner stable PC! Find a target lost! Gunner stable PC! Tracking. Reverse left. Tracking. Tracking. Steady. Tracking. Steady. Cease tracking.
Building destruction. Probably not. It's a lot of work. Maybe later. You gotta keep in mind, the core features of the game aren't even done yet. So
Gunner target lost!
we've got our work cut out for us pretty heavily in the next year.
Definitely. Any plans for functional ERA?
Yes, if there are vehicles in the game that use ERA, which was only just starting to be a thing by 85. So it's probably not going to be a common thing until we have new
Starting to
theaters.
be a thing like research, like the idea of it.
No, like the deployment of it.
Okay.
Doubtful. Re-engage. Target. Target. Cease fire.
any progress on East German voice lines, they exist. That's all I'll let you know on.
The concept of them exists. They're still work in progress. If you're asking because you sent an audition, we haven't picked everyone yet, so don't worry.
Yeah. Pointing back to something you said at the top of the hour, we've been pretty busy.
Yeah, extremely. Feels like there's always about 3 times as many things to do as... Oh my gosh. I just got wrecked. There's about 3 times as many things to do as we can handle at any given time. We we have a small team and a big ambition. It is never ever easy. Even the things that are easier are not easy. But we're still doing it.
Press F for Bradley Coon. Yes.
Oh, I had to look at the chat. I was like, what in the world did you just read?
I mean, most of the things I say. Shit. Any plans for adding vehicle into the game? Note I said vehicle because we get these questions all the time. There's a helpful guide in our Discord to determine if a vehicle is going to be added. Basically, if it was in service in 1985, in large enough numbers, and it wasn't an experiment.
That's if it could be added potentially. It's still not a guarantee.
Right.
As a rule, we don't answer questions about whether a vehicle will be added. You'll find out when you see it in a teaser. And the reasoning for that is not just to be dicks, it's because we have lists of things that we want to do, and they change as we reassess what we want to do or what we can do over time. So we're not going to make really early promises about stuff and then change our minds and have people being like, yeah, those guys always lie, they always say they're going to do things and then they don't. It's much smarter to just keep it close to the chest until stuff is almost done.
Yeah. We want our lies to be very obtuse. We don't want you to catch on to those. Pretty sure that's what you're trying to say.
Of course.
Fire stable. On the way. Target. Re-engage. Target. Ceasefire. Gunner. Tank.
There are no action scripter or Kavi OnlyFans. Wink.
Identified. Fire.
Stop trying to look for them. Wink.
On the way.
Oh man, this AI ran out of ammo.
Target lost.
Yeah, cool thing about the Abrams sound, in the back it's pretty loud. In the front it's very quiet.
Tank. Traverse right.
It's directional audio because of the way the turbine works.
Mhm.
It's much louder in the back.
So are you saying party in the back?
Yes.
Good. Thank you. The music is game side. The mixing of all of that is happening in there.
Yeah.
When will the 50 on the top of the Abrams be functional? It's never functional.
When it's ready.
It was only for decoration.
Huh.
That's just how it was. It's a flex.
No, that's the 50 on the M60. That thing was barely functional.
Yeah, because I overlapped your actual answer when it's ready.
Identified. Ceasefire.
GHPC lore, fitty jammed.
I'm told the M2HB was a pretty good gun. The M85 in the M60's cupola was kind of whack, though. All vehicles must have a mod use. It's the law. Yeah, that's true.
That's fair. And not just military vehicles. Consumer-grade vehicles, too. Any plans for auxiliary sites? Yes.
Oh. Wow, that is a bold BRDM.
Gunner, Sabo, PC.
You could say he's boldly pushing it into the market.
Look at that Tokyo drift.
Target, cease fire.
You killed a child.
No.
Oh my god.
By the way, with the new sounds in the Abrams, you can hear the kind of distinctive hydraulic whine as you sit here. If you watch any video of Abrams, like interior, it's very loud. We made it less loud here so it's not annoying, but you can hear it. Let's hear the coax, says Closet Monster. Alright. There you go, there's a coax. Realistic volume option, please. Okay, well.
We don't want you to have tinnitus.
Let's really crank the engine up. Listen to it.
Will my commander be able to pull out a revolver and clink impotently at the enemy? I don't think you'd be able to do anything impotently as a feature in our game. That's that wouldn't be like.
Well, it
the
depends on
quote
the
we
player.
use. Well, that wouldn't be the quote that we use on the box art. Command your tank impotently.
I mean, just for whoever asked, yes, everything you do in the game will be impotently.
Oh god. You didn't have to murder him. Come on.
Anyhow, how long have we got? We are almost at 2 o'clock, and we have a Patreon Q&A to do. So,
Yep.
what I will do is, wow, Malyuka with the opening shot, brutal. This is a good example of how the Abrams is not invincible. By the way, look at this shot. This hit frontal armor. It hit the gun mantlet, which is less armored than the cheeks, but it's still pretty armored. It stopped the jet, but the fragmentation from the round going off defeated the thin armor above the driver and killed him. Or at least wounded him badly enough that he couldn't drive anymore. So, yeah, Abrams is tough, but it's not tough enough all the time.
Maybe good to reiterate what's happening at the end of this month, or beginning of next month, rather.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to get this silenced
that's
up,
fine.
and then yeah.
Oh, I
So
want you to do it.
let me switch back over here. Okay, so to summarize, we have the game coming out on Steam, early access, September 6th. It will be $30 for the near future with a launch week discount of 10% for, I think that's $26.99. That will be the only place to get the game for now. If you are a Patreon supporter and your lifetime total that you've donated is at least $25 USD, as listed on our charts, our summaries, you get a free Steam key for the game. That was not a thing that we announced up front. We decided that recently. We've always said we have to see how it works, how the numbers look. We figured it out. That's what's happening. $25 on Patreon gets you a Steam key. That only counts until September 4, if I'm not mistaken, because we need a day to pull the numbers and send out keys. So
Yeah.
if you want to get the game like that and you're close to that number on Patreon, you can manually edit your pledge and it will count right now. It will no longer count at release time. The game will be in early access for a while, most likely at least a year. We will be working on the roadmap that we have put out on the website during that time. And when the game releases, it will have the Fulda 1985 theater complete. You will have all the vehicles, nothing will be locked. That's the case for early access as well. No more vehicle locking for Patreon supporters. Patreon supporters will have access to a new tier that has a new benefit, which is unstable builds, early testing of new Steam patches. So that will be the new thing. If you just want to play the game, buy it on Steam Early Access, and that's the way to go. What else? Am I forgetting anything?
I would say I've dropped a link into the chat. Feel free to go ahead and wishlist if you guys haven't already. That definitely helps us once EA comes about. That'll boost our visibility in the system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wishlisting, it helps a lot before release for a game, but a fairly important thing is once a game already releases, reviews and sales numbers become important. Now, when we give Steam keys, obviously those aren't sales, so I'm not sure that really affects the metrics. We're kind of taking a risk with that because we don't get, like, let's say you donated the money earlier, we're not going to get more money from the sale because we're giving you a key. But hopefully the people playing the game and talking about it will offset that, and it'll all work out in the end. So,
Yeah.
Where can we see how much we paid in Patreon? In your account settings, I think there is a billing page, and you can see the history of bills for a subscription. You'll have to add those up yourself. It's not easy to see that stat in one place. And if you are doing it in another currency and you have to convert, it's whatever the conversion was at the time that you paid each one and summed up. So on our side, we see a spreadsheet that has a list of everybody's donation totals in USD. That's what we're looking at. And that takes into account what we got in US dollars at the time for every payment you've made. So it could be a little tough to see, like if you're paying in euros or something, you'll just have to estimate it. If you're not sure, you can send a DM on Patreon, but try to figure it out yourself first, because if I get too many DMs, I'm just not going to answer. I only have so much time.
Sure, I can help you, but I won't help you.
I'm just saying, like, only do it as a last resort. Like, be considerate. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we can't have... There's a good number of people on that list already, and thank you very much.
Yeah, we really
If you
appreciate
find
it.
yourself on that, then awesome. But please, if Patreon offered an easier way to look that up, we would be front and center in telling you double check that. They just do not. So check through your billing history and go ahead.
The support that we got already is incredible. It's the reason we've been able to do what we can. All these new effects and better rendering and all the vehicle models, everything in the game. Everything that took it from the very early demo with cheap downloaded models in a desert all the way to where we are now, that's all because of Patreon. That's all because of the community supporting us. And so for all of you who were on board early and who gave us money just because you believed in what we were doing, we really appreciate you. And that's why we're giving you the game, because, you know, we feel like you deserve it.
For people asking about like tax or stuff like that, now if you guys paid up to 25 USD for us, oh no, let me correct that. If you guys paid 25 USD for the lifetime of your subscription over Patreon, then you'll get a key. Don't think about taxes or anything like that.
I think the number is what we received, though. So
Is
so I suppose if taxes are taken out ahead of time, it's not including tax.
Thought
I'm
it
not
was
exactly
only
clear on it.
I thought it was only the patron cut after that. So I guess we'll have to double check.
Yeah, it's sometimes hard to tell. The stats aren't really labeled cleanly at every occasion. All right.
We'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you ask, I can tell you. If you're like right on the line, if you're not sure if you're over or under, I can let you know on Patreon. Just send a message.
A couple other items. These will be distributed to the email that you have on your Patreon account.
Yes.
And if you go to your Patreon account, you'll see what email you're actually using.
That's right. So if you no longer have access to the email that's on your Patreon account, you might want to fix that before the end of the month, because that's how you're getting the key. If it's all set, if you're using your primary email still and you still have access, don't worry. You'll get the Steam key in the message. What else? I think that's about it, right? So what we do after streams, and also every month, even on the months that there are no stream, we have a Q&A session for Patreon supporters only. That is handled on Discord, and it's using the Discord stage in the patron channels. By the way, if you are a Patreon supporter and you don't have access to the Patreon channels on Discord, you can link your Discord account on Patreon, and that will automatically set up your roles for access there. We tend to share more teasers in the Patreon channels on Discord and talk more openly about development. If you're MBT tier, you get to see the feed of GitHub pull requests, so you can get an idea of what's going into the main branch of the project. It's little benefits like that. Anyhow, after stream, we do the Q&A. It lasts another hour, so I'll be hopping right onto that now, actually. So for all of you who are on the Discord as Patreon supporters, I will see you there in a moment. For everybody else, thanks for stopping by the stream. We're very excited to be this close to release, and it's going to be an exciting time for GHPC.
Definitely. Thanks for the support, and see you guys later.
Adios.